This hangout is aired. It's on. Hello, Internet. We come to you again on a Sunday night after Game of Thrones, so you have no excuse for why you're not watching. I am your host tonight, Randy at RamCon5000. I also have Steve here, and let's see, we got Steven Givens at Steve Gibbs. And then we also have Mandy, who is returning again. You all know and love her. She doesn't have a Twitter handle, so you can make one up if you want.
Never.
And then we also have Junie as a guest tonight. Hello, Junie. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing snazzy. How about you guys?
We are good. Steve, how's your Diablo going?
I put it down. I
Oh, yeah.
100% dedicated myself to this podcast. It was going well, though. Celebrating the 2-year anniversary of Diablo 3. We got increased loot chances and stuff.
Sweet. Mandy, I'm assuming you're doing well. You're smiling. You're happy.
I've been playing BioShock pretty much nonstop.
Oh, yeah,
I bought
one.
Which one?
Yeah, the original. So I never ever played the first BioShock. I just went straight to BioShock 2 and then to Infinite, and I love them both. And the other day I played the downloadable content on Infinite, and it made me really want to go back to BioShock. So I found them on KSL for $5 each, so it was awesome.
I'm so glad Richard is not here.
Yeah, right? When you finish the game, would you kindly tell us what you think about it?
I will.
Well, tonight we're gonna just we're gonna talk to Junie and figure out why she games and how being a girl in the gaming community is different from either Steve or I, and even if it differs from Mandy. We're also gonna talk about a few upcoming games like Watchdogs, and some other stuff going on. So let's get started, Junie. Why do you game? How long have you been gaming for?
Let's see. My dad bought me my first 64 when I was 4 or 5 years old, so that's where the magic happens.
Your first Nintendo 64? As if you had multiples?
Well, no, like my first console, period. And then I had like Super Nintendos before that, but that was like my first my console, and Super Mario, so good. That's where it happened.
Okay. So what kind of games do you play?
Let's see. I'm Korean, so I'm allowed to say this, but I love Asian like RPGs. Like, I get into the visual novels because I'm all artsy fartsy about it. But I'm also a huge fan of shooters. I know how to appreciate them. I wish I was a lot better at them than I am, but I appreciate them wholeheartedly.
You don't like to spin in a circle and throw a grenade at your own feet, do you? Because if so, then we can help.
Have you seen me on Borderlands? No. I love that game. No, I get a little scared with them. They excite me so much that I just scream and stuff, but lots of fun still.
Then don't play Dead Space, because that'll kill you.
So, yes, it did kill me, actually. Oh, God, that scared the hell out of me. So there's that. Shooters, RPGs. Really, I'm down for anything. My friends show me a lot of different kinds. I just played the Stanley Parable, like, literally right before I was on this right now. That game is freaking amazing. I don't know if you guys have played it. Never mind. But anyway.
One of its achievements is to not play it for 5 years. So I hope
Seriously?
you can get that. Yeah. Look at the Steam achievements. One of the achievements is to not play the Stanley Parable for 5 years.
Oh my God, that's not gonna happen.
Can you cheat and change the date on your computer? You know how you can do that?
I think it talks back to the Steam server.
That's too
That's
bad.
jacked up. No, I don't think so.
Just outsmart. So, Junie, what consoles do you have? I know you work in a job where you might get consoles, but I'm just wondering what ones you do have.
Well, I raised myself on Sony PlayStation. My dad's like, oh, I don't believe in Microsoft, get Sony. So I got a PS2, and then after that I bought my PS3, and then I started working at GameStop, and then people started teasing me for not playing Xbox, and I had no friends, so I was like, okay, fine, I'm going to jump on an Xbox, so now I somehow own every damn console.
Magically.
So from a PS3 to owning everything.
So yeah, I got a PS3, PS4, X360, One, all of it. Nintendo.
So peer pressure is an effective method against you.
Clearly.
I don't like to argue. I like a little bit of everything, you know?
You should buy this. Okay, geez, stop yelling at me. Yeah, go buy it.
Oh, you got me. That's how it goes.
Everybody here needs a new Xbox One, so just make that happen. Peer pressure, buy it one for all of us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, me and my 70% discount, absolutely.
So, since you have all the consoles, what do you prefer? What's your favorite?
Well, I've put a lot of hours, like I said, into my RPGs. I've been playing the remake of 10 and 10-2, so I guess my PS3's been getting a lot of attention. I play Borderlands on my 360 when I need to. To be honest, my next gens aren't getting a lot of love right now, just because I'm waiting for Watchdogs or Wolfenstein. So, yeah, I know.
Wolfenstein looks awesome, though. Oh my gosh, it looks so good.
I just want something on my next gen. Like, it looks, it's so good.
So I have to tell the story of how I met Junie. I went into GameStop and I had a bunch of old games that I just don't play. And I was like, these are sitting in there, they're not doing anything. I want Watchdogs. I'm poor, so I can't afford Watchdogs. So I'm going to trade these games in. And I got one of the special deals they were doing, where I got an increased percentage. Started trading in the games, and Junie and I got to talking. My wife and my daughter were walking around the store. My wife was trying to be entertained while my daughter was destroying everything. So sorry about that. And just based off Junie and Mai's conversation and how excited we were getting about Watch Dogs and other games, my wife turns to me and goes, "You should have her on your podcast." And I was like, "Oh my goodness, you were exactly right. I should have her on the podcast." And so I reached out to the powers that be, and here we are. Here is Junie.
I just imagine the two of you going like this: Watch Dogs, Watch Dogs, Watch Dogs, Watch Dogs. Like that's your entire conversation. Just bouncing up and down for like 10 minutes.
Who here?
Do you like Watch Dogs? I like Watch Dogs.
Oh yeah, I love Watch Dogs. Yeah, absolutely.
The Watch Dogs 101 trailer. It's like 10 minutes long, and it goes into everything about the game. Have any of you seen that?
Yeah.
Okay. I am super stoked. Like, I was excited before I watched that trailer, and then I watched that, and I was like, oh my goodness, this game. So, it talks about hacking in the game, which we already know. Talks about the cars, the people in it, that's standard stuff. But then it talks about the extra stuff. And the things I'm most excited for is the multiplayer. Because I can jump into Junie's game while she's playing, and I can be like, hey, I'm going to hack your system because I don't like you. And then she can come and kill me. And if I get away, she can jump it back into my game. And it's all supposed to be seamless. So we'll see how that does, because there's other games that are supposed to be seamless on Next Gen joining, and it doesn't work out. Does anyone have any concerns about that? Or
I have a little another Easter egg that my friend told me about that, Randy, you may already know about this because you've played Assassin's Creed 4.
Mm-hmm.
My friend Mike told me about this. Watch Dogs shares the same universe as the Assassin's Creed. Did you hear that too?
Yeah.
Or did you look into that?
That's the theory.
Yeah.
What?
So
That's insane! Oh my god!
So when you're playing
for anybody who
Assassin's
doesn't know,
Creed Black Flag, you get out of the Animus, so the machine that you're in that lets you go back in your memories, and you're walking around, and you'll hear conversations from people about like, oh, well, did you hear about the Chicago office, and did you hear about all this that's going on? And they're talking about things that reference Watch Dogs in a kind of implied way.
Vague way.
And then they also, there's something in it where
it mentions the operating system.
It mentions the CTOS.
Yeah.
And so there's a theory out there that the hackers are the modern day assassins fighting the Templars. We'll see. I don't know.
Yes.
I'm pretty stoked.
I'm a huge fan of the Assassin's Creed games, and I think maybe there'll be some Assassin's Creed Easter eggs, but I don't think they're going to directly tie in the two stories.
And
I don't
be
either.
fine with that too. I would be perfectly fine with just maybe seeing like Ezio on like a poster, or,
That's still. I think maybe we'll see Abstergo or something about the Animus. But
right.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
I bet an Abstergo little logo somewhere.
Yeah, that'd be super cool. So Watch Dogs is going to punish players who don't play online.
Yeah.
Did you do that?
No.
I pulled up the screenshot. It says, by disabling online invasions, which means you can't go into other people can't come into your world. You're blocking out that access. It says you will not be available for other players to invade, but you will also not be able to participate in online hacking and tailing. Your notoriety will be reset to 0, and any notoriety skills you have unlocked will be lost. So it basically says any of those extra features you have, you won't be able to use.
Which I have mixed feelings about. I kind of get a sour taste in my mouth with that because I do want to focus on the story. I don't want to be, if I have Junie and then Steve and then Mandy and then Chuck because he's an ass, just hacking me multiple times.
Yeah.
And then his grandma gets in there because she decides to her grandson's mom. Like, I don't want to be focused on...
She would defend you, though.
Hacks. That's true. She loves me.
Yeah.
She would help me fight Chuck.
And, I think a few things that I've read is someone said that any of those external hacking will never affect the main storyline, so you could just ignore them. But they want to put that feature in because that's what this world's all about, right? Everyone can hack anything. Everyone's, messing with other systems and stuff like that. And there may be some, asshole named Chuck who comes in and starts messing with all the streetlights.
Right.
You can choose to ignore him.
Yeah, it sounds a lot like the kind of setup that Grand Theft Auto has, 5, where you have your own individual story on your own that's not online, and then when you are online, there's just any opportunity for anyone to just screw you over. That's kind of the vibe that I get. It doesn't deter me from buying it, from buying Watchdogs, but it does make me a bit more wary of what I do.
And I know I can ignore him. I get that. But I'm the type of person where if you come in and you start messing with my city, I can't just ignore that. I'm not gonna just be
you
for you.
You put on your Batman voice and you get to work.
Exactly. Where's the cell phone?
So
Stop messing with my street lights.
Ubisoft did this with the Assassin's Creed 4 too. They had a like a social feature in Black Flag where they called them community events, basically community events, where something would show up on your ocean map of
like the White Whale.
Yeah, there's a treasure here, stuff like that, and certain naval missions you could send your little fleet on would slower if you didn't have any online friends.
Right.
If you had disabled that feature. So this isn't the first time they've done it. It doesn't surprise me. They got a lot of flack for it at the beginning, and then people just whatever, they don't care.
So, and I think that it'll be an adjustment, and I think everyone's going to start hacking each other's games in the beginning, but then you're going to get back into your story, and I don't know, I think it'll be fine. The other two things I'm really excited about in Watch Dogs is there's
everything.
But the end of the world mode. So basically it's like hell on earth, and every citizen is like demons, and your car is all decked out, and you're basically fighting these demons, which is cool. And then the other one is that for whatever reason you get to control this giant metal spider mech thing that just gets to go and destroy the city. And I'm super excited. The comic book geek in me sees that spider, and I'm like, that's a spider slayer from Spider-Man. I know he's not going to show up to stop it, but I'm going to destroy the city. I'm so stoked. Anyways.
All right. Any other fanboy tendencies we want to get out about Watch Dogs right now? 'Cause we'll get a chance to hit this at least 2 more times before Watch Dogs comes out.
At least.
Can't do it. Oh my gosh, I just talk about Watch Dogs so much. I feel like it's just in my DNA right now.
All right, we got 2 weeks for that.
Right? Oh my goodness.
Wolfenstein comes out on Tuesday, which I think the gameplay looks good. I don't know much about the story, but Wolfenstein's good. I think it looks fun.
I think the story sounds so cool with the whole just Nazis. You could just beat the shit out of Nazis. That sounds so cool to me.
Yeah.
I'm not a Wolfenstein fan at all. I've never really played them, but I watched the trailer because Tom is a huge Wolfenstein fan, and he's like, watch this trailer. And there's a scene where you're torturing a Nazi guy, and they're like, what are you gonna do? Blah. And you're like, well,
and he has a chainsaw.
This chainsaw. Up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Jack Bauer and Wolfenstein.
What Wolfenstein makes me think of is actually an old school GoldenEye on N64. I don't know why, but the vibe of the shooter aspect is kind of what it makes me think of. Maybe because they're kind of older European guns, but I don't know. I love Wolfenstein. It's fun. I'm excited.
Yeah. Are you picking up the new one, or are you?
See, I have this internal debate because I don't want to buy more games for my 360 because I'm hoping that Santa will bring me an Xbox One for Christmas, and it's my husband's.
The Vampire Diaries.
Or Damon. I'll take either one.
Hey, Xbox One.
So yeah, I have a hard time buying a bunch of new games for the 360 if I'm just going to be dumping all my money into the other next gen. So I'm having, I don't know. Same with Watch Dogs. I am so on the fence. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Well, a really sad point to make right now is there's not going to be a huge graphic difference between the versions yet. I mean, they're going to be a little better on Xbox One, but once
I get my Xbox One, I'm just going to sell my 360. So that's why I would want to make sure I get like all my new games for that, you know.
That's if they make it backwards compatible. That's why I won't get rid of my old stuff.
Well, it'll never be.
They won't.
It'll never be backwards compatible. So they're just different hardware. They might come out with an emulator, which can emulate a 360 on there, but it still wouldn't be able to read your discs. It'd have to be some sort of digital download thing.
Right. So
well, like the PlayStation Now. Like, I don't know if you guys heard about that.
Now? Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Enlighten
like
us.
No! Oh my gosh! Oh, so the PlayStation Now is supposed to be like a program they're starting in the summer, where pretty much like the PS4, like it's like Steam, where you like log into its services to use it, and pretty much you can like emulate and play like or stream, I guess, PS1, 2, and 3 games onto the PS4. Really? I don't know if you have to repurchase the games or anything like that, but it does let you play them. And I don't know if it's like you get to pop in your old PS2 game and let it work, so I'm not really sure how that goes. But
that'll be interesting.
That's really cool.
Interesting.
So excited.
The reason the Xbox One won't read 360 games is because the 360 were written for a PowerPC processor, and now they're on x86 processors. So it'd be like putting a Mac disk into a PC. It acknowledges it's there, it just doesn't know what to do with it. It's like
this is where you need to pull a Rich and be like, I bring the knowledge. Knowledge bomb.
Knowledge bomb. Hardware incompatibility. But so I mean, similar to what PlayStation. I mean, 360 had the on-demand, you know, for their arcade where you can, you know, not purchase them, but you can play them on demand, and it's definitely possible for the Xbox One to do that. I don't know what kind of infrastructure that would take, but I'm sure with PlayStation doing it, Microsoft will get on that bandwagon soon.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I'd be excited for that.
Any other upcoming games that are coming out soon?
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart 8! Oh god, Great Minds Think Alike! Oh my god.
That game was fantastic. I promptly got my ass kicked in Mario Kart on the N64 on Friday. I'm not sure. Yeah. Oh, she destroyed me. Diddy Kong Racing, she almost lapped me twice.
Oh my gosh.
Mario Kart, I did a little better, but...
Were you playing Diablo off to the side?
No, I was...
Driving with your feet?
Yeah, I should have just had two left hands. It would have been equally as good for me.
Oh, man. Well, did you guys get to play the demo on, like, a GameStop? They had the Mario Kart 8 demo going for the past couple of days.
Nah, I haven't.
Oh, it was so good. Awesome. I went upside down. I was upside down, like my head was facing the other direction. Oh my god, it was so cool.
Yeah, I've heard if you play it with like the Wii U controller, it's good. But if you use the tilt axis, like Wiimote, it's terrible.
Nope. Screw it. No.
Yeah, I heard it's absolutely awful to try and use the Wiimote for it.
Nunchuck, that's what you use.
Yeah, you need an analog stick.
So Junie, with working at GameStop, do you find a lot of what Mandy's talking about, of people coming in and saying, well, should I get a next gen? Should I wait? Should I, like... I mean, do you get a lot of that, or do you have people who are just, like, pissed about
absolutely.
next gen?
You get a little bit of both. What they actually taught us to do is to like more or less encompass our service around the customer's needs. So if they come in saying like, well, you know, I'm thinking of getting a PlayStation, but I don't know, should I go Xbox? We actually ask them like, hey, you know, are you more about the gaming community? Are you more about like, you know, 3D TV and like the HDMI and all that stuff? So it's more about what the customer needs before we like tell them, hey, you need to get a next gen now. So
that's nice. So you kind of personalize it for what they actually want versus just sell them on something.
Yeah, so like if the core customer comes in and like needs like plays like a butt ton of games, we're gonna be like, yeah, step up and see what they have to offer. If you can afford it and you're avid about it and it's more than just a hobby, it's a
passion.
It's a hobby. Yeah, thank you.
When will GameStop start getting their Connectless Xbox Ones?
I think it's June 9th. I will have to double check that, but you can pre-order for it now.
I'm so bugged.
So.
Did you buy yours? Oh, you did, didn't you?
I love the Kinect. I use it all the time.
Absolutely. I use the hand motion and everything.
I use it to turn on my Xbox, and I did use it for my cable until my daughter started basically doing voice commands, and it was picking those up, and I was like, what are you trying to say? Because she's like, blah, 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 blah.
Oh yeah, no, you used to piss your roommate off. What was it? My friend was playing Kinect Sports Rivals, so like, you know, she's jumping around making an ass of herself, and like, yeah, we all look like an ass when we play Kinect Sports Rivals, but it's a cool game, you know, that's what's important. And you know, she's just playing around, hopping around, trying to climb up the wall, and I'm like, Xbox, turn off, and just says yes or no. Yes, do it, and just ruin her day, but it makes my day. Oh my god, it's so hilarious.
That's the same thing. My wife, and she's
So
not a
good.
gamer at all. And so I'll be sitting there and I'm playing like Tomb Raider or whatever, and
Yeah.
the plane is like chasing me down the hill, where
Oh god.
many times you fall off a cliff in that game. And I'm like maneuvering around things, and all of a sudden my wife from the back goes, Xbox off. And she does it in a deep voice for some reason. She just feels the need to. And then it's like,
Trying to copy
yes. And
you.
I try to say no, and she's like, yes, and it turns off. And I turn to her, and I'm like, Misty, like going to my Batman mode, and I take her up on the roof and threaten to throw her off.
Oh my god.
Micah did that to me yesterday. I was playing BioShock, and I've been fighting this stupid Big Daddy forever. And it's very sensitive if you get next to the buttons to to open it or turn it off.
Oh my god.
And he was like opening our like entertainment system thing so it could breathe because it was way hot. And he just like put his hand in there to feel the heat, and it turned off. Or I heard the little ding, and I was like, "Did you just turn off my Xbox?" And he's like, "No, dang it!"
Start screaming.
And I hadn't saved in forever. I was so pissed.
Oh my god. It's like my Pokemon stories all the time. Just never save.
So, I mean, there's some stuff I wonder how they're going to handle. So with the Xbox, not having the Kinect, you lose the ability to say, Xbox, record that. Hopefully no one's watching this on their
That's
Xbox.
true.
If so,
Yeah.
I'm terribly sorry. So anyway, when they say...
Sorry, they should make us their screensaver.
So
Oh
when,
my god.
when they say record that, Xbox goes back in time and records that amount of time. Same thing with Snap. There's no, controller shortcuts for that. So
That's true.
I
And
wonder
I
how-
do think...
I use that feature all the time, the DVR stuff.
Yeah, I use the DVR stuff. I use the snap part of it. The hand motions I don't use, like I said. So it does have its value. I like to have options. It's the same thing as, and this is more of a sore note, but when they were like, buy an Xbox One and get Titanfall for free, and I'm like, what the hell? I bought it on day one. Sorry, Chuck's grandma. I didn't mean to swear.
You know they're gonna regret that later, and they're just gonna start selling the Kinect separately just to make more money off of it.
Right. So, and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Sandy, did you have something?
It kind of bums me out because when they first, can you see me? Oh, okay. First launched, Xbox, they said it was all included because now we're going to have Kinect, and I'm a little worried the future of Kinect because if I don't know, I'm kind of concerned that Kinect games and it's going to just kind of flop.
Yeah,
Oh.
Randy, your network's freaking out.
You're every once in a while. You might want to.
Don't forget your thought. Just give your network a
Hey,
minute.
can you hear me now?
You're still cutting in and out a bit.
We'll wait for her network to recover. In that, you being a girl gamer, like at your store, when I was there was another customer that came in because I was taking a long time. You helped them instead, obviously, because I had a lot of crap for you to do. But and I'm not saying this individual was this way, but I just wonder, do you get a lot of like guys who are gamers who don't meet a lot of girls who are gamers and are like, so, would you want to go on a quest sometime?
Oh god, that does happen. It's so silly talking about it. It does happen quite not often, sometimes, I guess. And my friend actually took a jewelry class and she made me this ring and just a fake ring to wear at work, just to.
Well, you just gave away your secret. Everyone who watches this is now gonna be like, haha.
You know what I mean? It's either that or I tell them I'm dating my roommate, just one of the two. Like, and you get a few of them that believe me, whatever you gotta do. No, I think they just mistake the enthusiasm here. I really love video games, and I want to be a part of the crowd. I want to be masculine with you, yeah, I can do it all.
Mandy, she's not here, but she talked about how when she was at Comic-Con and she sat down to play Halo, like all these teenage boys like looked at her and were like, why is she picking up the controller? She's gonna kill us. Why is she on our team? So do you get a lot of that too?
Yeah, they don't think that I'm very dedicated. Like when I tell them I play like RPGs and stuff, they're all like, "Oh yeah, so you probably played like 2 minutes of like Elder Scrolls or like maybe 10 minutes of Final Fantasy." It's like, no, I spent like hundreds and hundreds of damn hours dedicating my life to the system and everything behind it. Like, I'm there too. I'm just as skinny because I don't eat. I just play games.
All right. Steve, what about your wife? Because she's a gamer too. I mean, I don't know if she's a hardcore gamer, but.
Well, we'll have to get her on to ask her sometime.
All right, that's fair.
I mean, most of the time when we go out in public and whenever I tell people like, yeah, she plays games, like, your wife plays games with you? I'm like, yeah. They're like, that's awesome. I wish my wife would play games with me. And she shit talks better than anybody else. It doesn't matter what game we're playing. She can trash talk with the best of the males. And she's come a long way. When we first started dating, I was playing Halo 1 a lot. And I gave her the controller and tried to get her to figure out, and she couldn't figure out dual axis. That was just too much for her at the time, and so I took the controller away from her and told her just to stop. I was like, just don't. So from that perspective, she's come a long way. Now she plays first-person shooters with me, Halo,
That's awesome.
Borderlands.
See, my wife sat down to play Halo with me, and she did the whole like staring at the ground and spinning and trying to figure out what was going on.
Oh my gosh, have I
she-
done that?
She pulled the trigger and it threw a plasma grenade and it landed on her foot. And she's like, "What's that blue thing?" And she blew up. And she was like, "This game is stupid." And she handed me back the controller. So, I love my wife. She's not a gamer, and that's fine by her.
Yeah, and I mean, there's not any sort of particular game my wife Cassie likes anymore. She played like Black and White and Sims, and she'll play Diablo now. First-person shooters, Borderlands, BioShock, Skyrim. She loves the most recent Tomb Raider game. Big fan of that one.
Great.
So
It's really good.
so she's very eclectic. We'll have to have her on sometime. But yeah, I think most, as general, younger males, if they see females playing, I don't think very many of them are going to dismiss females. They're going to be like, "Oh, you should totally let me teach you to play. You should. I can show you how to be better. I can." That's what I assume most.
Well, I built a lot of nerd cred when I was younger because I had a friend who taught me the wonderful world of Dungeons and Dragons, and I have a suitcase full of Magic cards that I just used to play so competitively. So, I've had my fair share of badassery, but of course I lose a lot of nerd cred when I say stuff like I haven't seen Star Wars before.
What?
I know.
My wife hasn't seen Indiana Jones.
I haven't either. My mom raises me watching Korean soap operas instead, and my dad just doesn't want to watch them, so he doesn't watch Star Wars around me.
How are Korean soap operas any different than American soap operas?
They're very
a lot of crying, a lot of talking. Oh dear God, a lot of talking, and a lot of close-ups of the face, tears, like a lot of talking. So much talking and so much drama.
Are you fluent in Korean?
I am.
So you can translate K-pop songs for us now?
God, I can try. It can be, but most of it's in English anyway. You know how they try.
Are you back with us now? It looks like you joined again. Are you back? Are you alive? Maybe not. So when you're
Nice
playing
picture.
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me?
yes, we can hear you, but it sounds like your internet's still on.
Awesome.
So Junie, do you when you play and you get mad, do you swear in Korean or do you swear in English?
I swear in every language that I can think of.
Nice.
I could probably publish a book on just crass. Oh God, I get really upset, especially when I play horror games like Silent Hill and Resident Evil and stuff like that. I just lose it.
All right. Steve, do you want to jump into the whole YouTube, Twitch?
Yeah, so along with various other announcements today, there's the rumor mill is that YouTube will be buying Twitch for like $1 billion or something like that. Let me see what it was. I know, yeah, $1 billion. That's the current theory right now. So YouTube has a streaming service used for live. Twitch.tv is a subsidiary of Justin.tv, which is solely used for video game streaming and everything like that. So if YouTube buys them out, it would be very interesting to see where it goes.
Do you think it will improve Twitch, or will it be more? I don't know. Like, just what kind of ramifications do you think will happen?
Well, I don't know what this turns into in the gameplay, but YouTube's very strict on copyright.
Right.
So I wonder if people's games are going to get taken down. Like, you can't play this game, or this music was playing in the background, so you can't do that.
Right, because how does
Like
it right
Twitch plays
now?
Pokemon and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Nintendo had a policy for a long time where you couldn't do Let's Plays in their games. You couldn't stream them at all. Are they
Right.
going to stop that now? Or are they going to say, I know this is on an emulator, and that's pirating our software. You can't do that anymore. I'll be curious to see how it goes too.
YouTube, like if on this video we post it to YouTube and we have some song in the background that's copyrighted, the artist doesn't want us to do, it gets taken down. So in games like Watchdogs or Grand Theft Auto, where you can have your own playlist playing while you play, what does that mean? Like
Right.
Steve was saying, what's going to happen?
Yeah, the one thing that I think is good is the infrastructure that Google and YouTube has. They can host a lot more. They can have, hopefully better bandwidth towards games and things like that. So I would hope that might improve. Twitch has a good chat system. YouTube's chat system is terrible. But also, I don't want to use Google Plus to chat on Twitch anymore.
Right. Mandy, welcome back.
We can see you.
We can see you, at least. I don't know if you're talking.
Thank you. I don't have internet. I know.
We hear
I'm
you.
talking. Can
Ish.
you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're good.
Maybe. You do?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So so with YouTube and Twitch,
Perfect.
it'll be cool, right? I hope there's not any big content bans like there was in December of last year, where YouTube just started taking down people and giving them copyright infringement notices. I think the streaming could hopefully get better. Twitch, I don't think they make very much money based off their ads and sponsors, and so I think that's the reason they sold, is they want to try and be profitable. So I think it could be good. Google AdSense.
Did you?
If you guys know what Google. What was that, Mandy?
Oh, nothing. Go for it.
Oh, so a good thing I see is Google AdSense. That's how people make money. That's how they make money off YouTube, is just how Google Ads plays in your videos and things like that. If you can bring that to those Twitch streams, right, now you have a chance to make money live and post when it's on YouTube. So I think it will make that integration of live streaming and post streaming, not live, just browsing YouTube videos. I think it'll make that integration a little nicer for the people whose jobs are their gaming careers.
Right, and I hope that this also maybe opens up kind of just more of a door for people who aren't aware of Twitch, because there's a lot of gamers out there who aren't even aware that Twitch exists or how to access it or anything like that.
Yeah,
And so-
I didn't know about that until just 4 or 5 months ago, actually. So there's a lot that I learned.
And
But
so
yeah.
Twitch, I honestly didn't know about Twitch until Next Gen started becoming, they were talking about it, and they're like, you can do Twitch from Next Gen. I'm like, what the heck is Twitch? And Tom was like, well, let me educate you. And then
Tom did this.
And so, I mean, it was actually, I love Twitch. I love getting on and watching people play games, and Misty is constantly like, why are you watching someone play a game? Why don't you just play it yourself? And I'm like, I don't have this game. Should we go buy it? And she's like, no, you can watch it. I'm like, all right, that's fair.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But I'm excited. Another thing that we just found out about is AT&T and DirecTV. AT&T is buying DirecTV, supposedly, according to the internet, and I'm very interested to see what that means, because for those of you who aren't aware, AT&T does do cable, they do internet, but they don't do it in all 50 states, because the government basically says you can't do this, you'll have a monopoly on things, and which is funny because I think there's other internet providers, including my own who I have right now, Comcast, who have monopolies in certain areas, and they don't allow other people to compete. And DirecTV is in Utah, so I'm very curious to see now that they have bought DirecTV, what does that mean? Does that mean I can now have AT&T as my cable/internet provider?
Yeah, well, one thing we got to remember is no one's bought anyone yet.
Correct.
Right. So this is all rumor mill.
Right.
But,
well, and I just like to assume with rumor mills that it's all true. The next iPhone's going to be a chip that goes in my brain. Let's just assume.
the one thing too is AT&T was for sure going to buy T-Mobile. That was a done deal.
True.
And that ended up not happening. So there may be
It's never gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's not going to happen, and they might come and say that again to AT&T.
Right.
You're too big, you're too powerful, you can't own any other big companies.
Yeah.
And then AT&T will be like, where are the drugs? But no, I mean, I personally hope that it does go through and that we can get another internet provider. I mean, Google Fiber is doing its job in
Oh
Provo.
my
It is
goodness.
branching out to people. Vivint, out where Mandy lives, is doing its job too of
Yes.
competing with other people.
It is amazing.
Do
Do you
not
know that,
Except
Provo?
don't take my my internet service right now for what it is, because I promise it doesn't suck normally. My husband's using the internet too, and so he's like uploading stuff for his work files, and it's just massive. So that's why I've been kicked off so many
Tell them you're
times.
trying to talk to strangers on the internet.
Yeah,
I
you're
did.
talking about video games. So creepy guys can be like, "You wanna go on?"
Hey, did we talk to Mandy about being a female gamer and how males approach her to that?
We did when she was on before, but now that she's back and her internet's good again, I'd actually be very curious to see if Junie and hers experience are the same. So
Oh
I don't
my
know
Yeah,
gosh.
Junie,
Junie's.
Junie, what's yours? Huh, I didn't hear any of Junie's.
Oh, just
Sorry.
it's frequent enough, you know. I was telling them that I usually ward them off with like a fake ring, or you know, I tell them I'm a lesbian or something like that. You know, it usually
Yeah.
works. You know, short
Perfect.
haircut. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
you know, but you know, I still like to add them on my gamer tag though. Like one thing that's really
Yeah.
sad is that like I hate losing the customers because of an awkward situation like that. Like I still want to be friends. You know, we can still be
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
Well, and Mandy, you talk about how when you're gaming and you're talking on your headset, you sound like a 12-year-old boy. And so
I
people
do.
are like,
I do. Literally every single time. So funny enough, I was talking to my buddy last night, Mike, while he was playing Grand Theft Auto 5 and I was playing BioShock, and I hear this little tiny voice in the background of this like little kid-sounding voice, and I was like, "Oh, is there a girl playing with you?" Because I was like, "Yeah, there's another girl gamer there," you know. And he's like, "No, that's my nephew," and it sounded like someone like me, but it was literally a 12-year-old boy, and I'm like, "Dang it!" But no.
You're like, little boy, stop playing.
That
I'm a
was-
girl. I'm
I
a
know.
girl. Why don't
But
you
that
believe
was-
me?
That was always, I was just, you know, I would always get the go, you know, get out of here, you're just a kid, like go let your balls drop kind of comments, and I'm like, oh,
Oh,
girl, actually, thanks.
can I
Has-
And
comment
they're
on
like,
that?
"Okay."
Oh
has,
my goodness.
has anyone
Yeah.
ever asked you guys to make them a sandwich? Has that ever actually happened in
Oh,
your own playing?
Like every other joke on the damn
Yes.
planet. Seriously.
Seriously, it's asinine. I'm
Can I
like,
get your sushi
yeah.
sandwich because I'm
Yeah.
Asian? Does that work for you? Oh my god.
Actually, I'd prefer sushi. Mandy, go get me a sandwich.
I love sushi.
Junie.
I want to comment on that. Seriously, what was it?
Yeah.
I got a phone call from work the other day, and I was like, hey, thanks for choosing GameStop, where you get a yada yada for this and the yada yada. And this little boy's like, oh, is there a guy there? And I'm like, nope, I'm just the only one working. How can I help you? He's like, oh, well, can I talk to somebody who knows about games? And it's like, oh.
What?
Really?
Oh
Oh.
my gosh.
I laugh so hard at these comments and like the sandwich comments because I can't believe any actual intelligent person does that. But then you guys are like, no,
Because
it
they're
really
not.
happens.
Yeah, they're not
Um,
intelligent. They're just like pricks on the internet that can feel entitled to say whatever they want, you know.
And they think they're being funny. Oh, they think it.
Oh yeah,
Be like,
Like
oh,
because they're in this
most
huge.
original guy.
if I mean
Yeah.
if I mean to
Yeah.
girls, they'll like me, right? I pick on them
Oh,
on the playground,
totally.
they'll like me.
Totally.
Well, that's how I got
yeah.
Misty. I hit her with my car.
Oh, yeah, that's how I get my men too. I cave their
You-
skull in with a tire iron and I drink what's dripping, and that just usually gets them off pretty well, you know?
Back to the Future. I figured I might as well take a shot. You know, it worked. I don't have a DeLorean though. That's what I really need.
Oh, that would have helped.
So on that same note though, when you're playing and they're like, "Get out of here! You're just a kid," yeah, and then you kill
Yeah.
them and they find out you're a girl, do they get more pissed because you're
No, they
They
get
get
creepy typically.
Instant boners, I'm sure.
There seriously are like insta creepers. They're like, "Hey girl, how's it going? What's up? Like, where are you located? Are you married? How old are you? How many
You
kids
wanna-
do you have? Like,
you wanna
they just
come
go
over?
off.
Be like, I'm 62, Florida.
They're like, so basically they're like, "Oh, what's your ASL? What's your ASL? What's your
Oh my
cup
gosh,
size?
I haven't
How
heard
much do
that
you
in
weigh?"
forever.
My foot
Genuinely.
size a men's
Yeah.
7, whatever.
Just start throwing back information and creep them out.
What you need to do is be like, okay, you know what? If we win this next match, I'll send you a picture, and then they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing," and then you just never do. That
And then
would
you
be
just
pretty
block
funny.
them. So
Right.
if any of our listeners
Block them
do this,
forever.
don't.
Oh,
It's super creepy, and the girls don't like it.
Never,
They're not
never.
cool.
just do us a favor, God.
So I guess in that, it's probably better for them to be total dicks than be super creepy, right?
No, I'd rather them just be normal. Like, I can
Honest.
be a girl gamer. Like, you can be a guy gamer. We don't have to be, like, sex buddies or creep buddies. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what I go online to play a video game for. Is I go online to kill people or whatever,
Wait,
you know?
You don't go online to meet people to have sex with in a video game?
No, you go
No.
online to kick
Mind
their ass.
blown.
Absolutely.
Randy's been playing
Yeah.
video games wrong his entire life.
Completely.
Randy's like, I had no idea this is what gaming was about. I thought this was dating simulator.
Now, one other question I will ask Junie, because we've already kind of covered it with everyone else, and I'll give you a little bit of background. As I said, my wife's not a gamer. I have buddies who are single who are gamers who are like, oh, I wish I had a girl that was a gamer. I wish I could play games with my girlfriend. I actually have a buddy who watches the podcast who, after he saw Mandy come on, he was like, dang it, she's married. And I was like, dude. But I love you. I love you. I love you very much. So I was just wondering, guys that you've dated are they gamers? Do you like to date someone who is a gamer, or does it matter?
Honestly, I realized from mistakes in the past, you've got to be best friends with the guy before you even think about dating them. Otherwise, it's a waste of time because, like you're not being romantic every single moment of your life here. So yeah, it definitely helps to have guy gamers as friends. I love just sitting there watching them play sometimes. Like I'm a huge artist, so I'd love to draw. I'll just sit there and be inspired by what's going on in the game. Got gorgeous games happening, so it just so great. So yeah, it does help to have gamer guys, but that can't be your only redeeming quality. You got to shower and you got to be able to see your feet. You can't be gross.
Yes.
They're like, do you know what the gamer score is? That's why you should choose me.
It's 1 million.
Although I did see a cute photo of this married couple, and like after they got married, like it said like Xbox like achievement award, like you said it. Ruined my punchline. Fine.
I saw that and I was like, I need to do Photoshop on our wedding photos. And my wife was like, I've seen our wedding photos, and I was like, dang it.
There was one that was like a week after the PS4 came out. It was like a bride in her wedding dress on the couch with the PS4 headset and controller.
Yes.
I'm like,
yeah, I saw that.
Eric, doing it right.
My friend, she got proposed to by her husband now, or fiance, I guess. Got on one knee and pulled out a little Pokeball for her, and she opens it up and it had that ring in it. Oh man,
cool.
That's
Pokeball.
awesome.
That is
Cool.
awesome. Tom's head just exploded.
Did you see the guy who wrote an entire video game like code for his girlfriend to play through? Did you see that one?
I saw the guy he made a
I'll have to link it.
Portal 2
I've
proposement.
never seen that.
No, there was that one, but there's another like 8-bit game one that they did. So I'll have to post it onto our
That's
Facebook
awesome.
page. It was awesome. Like you could actually go in and play the game, which I did, of course. But what he did is he and his buddy like were video game developers, whatever, and they're like, man, I want to have a cool way to propose to my girlfriend. And so they created this whole thing, and they're like, hey, will you test it out? Will you play it, and see? They even had music, like everything. It is awesome.
Oh,
And you go through the
cool.
whole thing. Yeah, you go through the whole thing, and then at the end of it, it's like one little guy is like talking and proposes. His little 8-bit guy proposes to her little 8-bit girl, and then
And she's like,
it's
no. And it's like, game over.
game sucks.
That's awesome.
Multiple options.
I
You can
would-
get any ending. Where's the alien ending?
Right, I'm curious to know if he did put in, like, what happens if she says no? Like, what do I do? What do I have the game
Says,
do?
haha, just kidding.
I
You
didn't
can like
know.
purchase some like DLC to have like different sorts of options. Does she throw a can at you? Does she shoot
There's no
you later and kills herself? Oh.
He just runs up and like flicks the power button. She's sitting there, he's like, oh, game over.
I'm just kidding. By the way, we should talk.
Well,
Get out.
yes.
Well, I think that's it. Unless anyone else had anything else they wanted to cover, I think the moral of this podcast was don't be creepy when you meet a girl online.
Yeah.
And I
Don't be creepy.
Hey,
Check.
don't be a fart knocker. Seriously, just be sweet and honest. Jesus.
Yeah. I think we just need to get as many people from the podcast on a game, and just so we can record creepy guys' reactions. That's all I want. I just want to hear like a couple girls talking, in Call of Duty or Halo, and I want to hear creepy 15-year-old boys being like, "Hey, Hey.
Hey.
Put your voice up a couple octaves. It's hey.
I have a sniper rifle. Are you right that we have cougars on there? That'd be good. I want to pretend to be a cougar hitting on some youngins.
Yeah. Be like, oh, honey, you're as old as my son. Yeah.
Oh God!
And then you're playing, and all of a sudden, like, the real life SWAT busts through your door and like handcuffs you and walks you out.
And you're a creeper.
That's awesome.
All right.
I feel terribly sorry for you, ladies, gaming. I would recommend never go into public chat.
No. Nope.
Just silently swear at your terrible teammates.
This
Like,
is
why can't you get the damn flag?
Cuss them out, yeah.
This is why they don't have Twitter, Steve. What I
Yeah.
actually recommend is that you just talk in your own Batman voices when you're playing, and then they'll just stop trying to be Batman. Just go get the flag, and you'll be like, "Where's the flag?" All right. I think that ends it. Good night,
Oh, my
Internet.
face hurts.
On Wednesday. Have a good one.